Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get your meat and get your meat cleaned up. I have a nice St. Louis cut here of pork ribs. Now you see that fat and that marbling on there, you really want that in your St. Louis style ribs. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is start taking this lining off the back here. If you can, just get the corner peeled up, and you're going to grab that corner, and if you can wrap it between your fingers, that'll make it a little bit easier. But we're going to take that membrane off. Okay, now it'll be a little bit more of that if that was a baby back cut, but this is the bottom part of the ribs, so it's a little less than that. So you just want to make sure that that's up off the edge there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start seasoning these. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to end up wiping these down at the dump. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure I have my spice mix all ready and evenly, just like I want it. I'm going to start layering it on, and I want to do a nice even coat. And this is going to be a dry rub. We're going to put this in the smoker, and man, I tell you what, after it comes out, you're going to want to smack your mama and smack everybody in your family. But I'm going to lay this on thick. I got a nice little house mix of mine here. It kind of came up with it myself. Got some brown sugar, some cumin. I have a little bit of garlic salt, a little bit of onion powder. I have some a little bit of a little bit of coriander in there, salt, pepper, you know, your mainstays, and brown sugar, you know, your base is there. You got a little paprika and cayenne, so it's got a little bit more in there, but it's going to be nice and tender and juicy after smoking for about 4 hours. Yeah, buddy, we're going to get this all cranked up. But this is just the night before. Now making sure I give it a nice good coat, and I'm going to let them marinate overnight, just like that. So now it's a nice little coat. This is the start of what your bark is going to look like. So I'll lay that into a little pan. Alright, this is one tip for you. If you really want to make sure that you have some really good venison, you should soak it in some salt water and add a little bit of vinegar. Usually I say about a palm. You know, if you pinch your palm like that, fill it up with salt right there in the middle, and fill it up with salt, and then dump that into a bowl of this same size, which this is probably about 3/4 of a gallon of water, or whole. And then you put in 1 cup of vinegar. White vinegar, doesn't matter, or apple cider vinegar, whatever your choice, whatever you have. And then you let it soak overnight, and that'll take that blood or whatever taste out of it, meaning like the game taste. It'll take it out of there. So as you can see, this is, and I can just rinse that right out. And you don't want to put too much salt because it'll make your meat salty. But as you can see now, that meat is a lot lighter, and it's gonna have very little game taste to it at all. So I have some venison ribs here that's going on the smoker with us, and I'm just gonna layer them down. As you can see, it looks all gnarly because I've trimmed out a lot of my fat there. I've trimmed a lot of it out, so that's gonna help to have a nice, tastier cut of meat, and you won't have that gristle in there. So I'm just gonna, just the same thing. I'm not rubbing it, I'm patting it. I'm patting the seasoning into there. Yeah, because you don't want to overdo it. But you're just gonna push down into the meat. I'm gonna turn it over. And and the membrane is on this too, so you make sure you get that off too. Even if it's venison ribs, it's gonna have that membrane on there. I got my venison ribs and got some pork ribs, and I'm gonna get it smoking. We have a minion method going on here, so I got a little bit of water in there. You can see that water pan right there. And I made it into like a bath bowl also. If you buy just a thin serving pan, you can mold it to what you want to get that heat to go up to the other side, to move over to the other side, so you'll have an even heating surface. Alright, I got my meat on. I got some standing ribs there. So I'm just gonna let those smoke. I got them like standing up, so I'm gonna make sure that they're getting smoke filled right now. Basically, that's the first coating that's gonna go on, is the smoke, and then I'll let it go down and get the heat going. Okay, so now we're just cutting our ribs up. I'll let them come to a rest. You can see that they're pulling back from the bone there, and I'm just gonna cut them up into nice little quarter chunks here. There we go. And if you just pick one side and cut it along the bone there, but as you can see, you got a nice smoke ring there. I'm gonna let you get a close up. Nice smoke ring, nice and juicy. So it's gonna be really tasty. And you can see the bark there. That's just a nice cut of ribs there. And these are St. Louis ribs, so it's a St. Louis cut. It's not a baby back. So I'm gonna baste these down. I like to baste mine, mop them down after I cut them, so you get all of the sauce all around the meat. It just works a lot better. And the reveal. Oh yeah, it is a very, very delicious bark. And look at those little pork pieces right there. Oh man, it's time to eat. Who rang the dinner bell? Thank you for watching Country Den.